Morning, welcome. My name's Rick Allen. I'll be your captain today on Flight 015. We're at the Toronto International Pearson Airport, and I'd just like to introduce you to our crew today. So we've got Peter Thompson, First Officer.
Good morning.
First Officer Francois Champagne, who's a relief pilot today, and we're waiting for First Officer Ron Valanga, who's probably caught in traffic. We're just about to start our flight planning.
As you can see, it's a fairly lengthy flight plan, 48 pages, which encompasses all the no times from the various airspaces in which we can fly through.
One of these things with today's flight on the 777, it's the only aircraft in our fleet that flies polar. So we're planning a polar flight today. It's either Route 1, Route 2. We think we have up to Route 4. So it's probably just taking a look at the flight plan quickly. Are we going by Aberry or?
Yeah, Aberry.
Aberry. So that's polar Route 1. So there's some real advantages to flying polar routes, and one of them obviously is shorter time. It's better for the environment, less fuel burn, so that results in less carbon emissions in the environment. Also fuel savings for the airline, which results in cheaper costs. Going over the pole, usually we have less turbulence, and some of the things that we have to consider for Transport Canada is different areas such as ETOPS alternates, communications, solar, PRAM. What else do we have on here, Peter? Space weather, HF conditions, and weather fuel. So it's a little different than normal flight planning and compared to some of the other routes. And if any of these exceedances are required, then we would take a non-polar route, which would result in longer flight plans, more fuel burn, and maybe less payload. So there's some maps if we want to take a look at just our routings.
Here's our route over there, going just a little bit south of the pole there, and into Asia from the pole all the way to Hong Kong.
Through Siberia, Mongolia.
There you go.
So there's a big picture from Toronto. There you go, Francois.
From Toronto all the way just south of the pole on the Iceland side, and then all the way to Hong Kong. Through, Mongolia, China, and all the way to our destination.
So some of the remarks we have on the flight plan right from the beginning is that there's no slot required. Sometimes we need a slot to enter the Russian airspace. That's not required today. Space weather is nil for all levels, and our HF conditions are fair. You can see here we have the Gander oceanic frequencies to use, and the dispatch remarks. We have a little bit of weather feel for possible CB vicinity of Hong Kong, which is kind of standard for this time of year.
Absolutely.
Operating flight plan remarks, PRAM is check completed and there was no outages. Some of the things to consider in the winter time is when the temperatures are very low, we're not allowed to fly for more than 90 minutes at a temperature of minus 65 degrees Celsius, but this time of year that's not an issue. Minimum equipment list items, we have none, so we've got a good airplane today. And planning summary. Here we go. First flight level is going to be 270, tropes at just at 50,800. Temperature deviation +2, wind component on the average is +14. Great circle route is 6,779 and it's 7238. There's my phone, so as a senior director I have to take that, excuse me.
There's our estimated en route flying time of 14 hours and 51 minutes.
Hey, Rob.
And the burn is 113.1. Basically, we're just taking a look at, the flight plan routing itself, which basically through Russia is the standard routing down to Sirna, and crossing the border from Mongolia at Polho, and right straight through China. And then down to our alternate information.
And for everybody out there, Ron Valanga. I've known Ron since first met him in 1993. We were in a furlough together, and we went to air traffic control here in Toronto. So we saw how the other side of the fence was. Ron was working on the west side, south side, and I was working terminal for ATC.
You're finally getting some good
So we lasted there until 1995. Were you there longer?
No,
95, and then we came back and.
Here, I'm Peter Thompson.
Hey, Peter.
Nice to see you.
So.
Hi,
Okay, what we do here is we check the KO flight plan. versus our flight plan route from dispatch. So at flight level 270, it's a Luster 7 departure going to Tony, Victor 34, Yankee Echo Echo, J556, North Bay, direct YVO, direct YFM, direct 56 at 7246 west, 58 north at 7151 west, Tefo, direct Aru, direct Canal, direct 69 north, 60 west, 75 at 50, 80 at 40, and then 83 at 30, 85 at 20, direct Abery, and then Bravo 934 Adelaide, Bravo 934 to Mike X-Ray, Bravo 155 Tunner, Alpha 45 Osona, Golf 490 Cerna, Mike 520 Polho, Golf 218 TMR, Bravo 458 KR, Bravo 458 WXI, A461 to Zulu Fox, Alpha 461 to LIG, R473 Whiskey Yankee November, Whiskey 18 to November Lima Golf, Whiskey 23 to ZUH, R473 Sierra for the approach.
Activate, execute.
Done.
Beautiful.
Very good.
All right.
So you can see that's fairly long. Okay.
All right.
So there we were.
So, you happy with our fuel?
I'm happy with the fuel.
Yeah, okay, because
Yeah,
they've
this
given
is
us the
good.
1.5 for weather, which is good. Okay. So now we're into our crew alerts and our NOTAM section of the flight plan, which we'll start a review. So, software limitations, we know that one. That's fine.
See, sometimes in Toronto, we got departure of 05, we'll try and request 33 right all the time because it's going in the right direction. That'll save us 10-15 minutes of taxi time, saves us fuel. So these are things that you would sort of point out and look at when it's closed.
Yeah, so.
Just right during the time when we're doing it.
Exactly, so
So
we won't bother.
we got a long taxi.
Yeah, runway 5. Okay.
Talk about the rides coming out of Toronto, maybe going north over the bay. Any complaints?
And a Hawker flight?
Yeah.
So that was John Humphreys. He's our dispatcher watching the flight today. And after we reviewed the flight plan, we went over the route. We checked the NOTAMs. We just finished checking the weather and looking at the map and the forecasts for some turbulence out of Toronto. So John says he's got no reports, no complaints so far. There's a jet stream over Quebec. We should be below that right now. But what's something's a little different today is that there's a jet over the pole, and we don't normally see that. Usually there's no wind, but it should be fairly weak. So we reviewed the flight plan with all 4 crew members. If we want to come down here, the last thing we will take a look at is our polar charting map that Francois has been working on.
So basically, we've just taken a look at the weather here in Toronto just to confirm that the winds and the altimeter setting for our departure runway. So that's good. We will be using runway 5. And then we've taken a look at our arrival weather for the Hong Kong area. And it's forecast for some showers basically in the vicinity, which is normal. And we've taken a look at Shenzhen, the alternate for Hong Kong for our arrival time. And again, it's basically the same weather with some showers in the vicinity and a few CBs popping up because of the summer hot weather. Now, our alternates, our ETOP alternates, Frobisher Bay, again, a beautiful day. And long year as well. So, and Irkutsk, the weather couldn't be better for the whole duration. This is our routing. And this is the jet which Rick was just talking about, and a little bit of the weather that's in the Toronto area. And as we move to the north, there's the jet which is in the vicinity of the pole, which we don't normally get. So we might get a few little bumps when we go over the pole and through Siberia into Mongolia. A little bit of weather in the middle of Siberia, then clearing out, and then once we enter China, again we'll be crossing a couple of jets with some forecasted turbulence, various levels up to 43,000 feet, and then China. And we took a look at their wind chart, and basically the winds are as predicted on the AVPAC.
On a polar route or overseas flight, we have to plot our route since the airports are very scattered. So for to help ourselves, situational awareness to help that we plot our route on the map. So this is the polar orientation chart, and we start here in Toronto. We start to plot basically when we enter the polar area, and then we plot it all the way to until we exit that polar area, and that would be at the Mongolia border over there. What we also plot on there are what we call equal time points. So these are points where will be equal time between two contingency airport. In case anything happens and we need to divert to an airport en route, then these airports are identified, and then we know from these points which one is the closest. Our first alternate airport will be Iqaluit on Baffin Island, just north of province of Quebec. And then our second one will be what's that? Lanyard, yeah, exactly. That's part of, I believe that's Iceland territory over here. And then the last one will be Yakutsk, which is in Russia.
Air Canada 1254 à destination de Cancun. Nous demandons aux personnes qui voyagent avec de jeunes enfants ou qui ont besoin d'aide de se présenter maintenant à la porte 178. Nous invitons.
Okay, so we're now on the ramp at Toronto Pearson International Airport, and we'll be doing the walk around of a Boeing 777 on its way from Toronto to Hong Kong. Let's go. So we just take a close look of everything on the aircraft, making sure that everything is in place and that nothing that should not be there is there as well. So we'll just take a look at the tire to start with, make sure everything's in place, all the linkage are where they're supposed to be, and then we'll just carry on. Here we are. Here we have all kind of static ports that brings all the information about pressure to the air data computer of the aircraft. Pressurization valves over there as well, all closed, all in good condition. Antennas under the aircraft, we'll make sure they're all there, nothing's broken. Aircraft skin is in good condition. And then we'll have a look at the engine, huge engines on the 777. Actually, there's some smaller aircraft. The fuselage are smaller than the circumference of these engines on the 777. So all the blades are in good conditions. That's what we're looking for. No dents, no nothing. So now we'll have a closer look to the tires. Huge tires, everything's huge on a Boeing 777, as you can see. We'll be looking at the brake probes over here, just making sure that we still have some indication of that the brakes are still in good condition, that there's not too much wear on those. All the hydraulic connections are in good condition and in place. Tire conditions are good, no excessive wear. Here we go. So we'll carry on. Have a quick inspection at the wings. Make sure there's no dent. position lights. The red on the left side, the green on the right that we'll see later, and then white at the back. You will notice there are 2 bulbs in each light, and this is for this is just as a backup. If one burns, then we have another one, and we can avoid delays by having to replace one. Other antennas under the belly of the aircraft, all in good condition. Of course, if we had any question about anything that we would suspect not to be in the proper condition, then we would give a call to maintenance to come over and investigate. But so far so good. Everything is where it should be, in the condition it should be. At the tip of the wings and the stabilizer on the tail, you will see some what we call static wicks. Therefore, to avoid the static interference on the radios, and that's one of the things that we check on the walk around, make sure they're all in place. So we'll do the exact same thing that we did on the other side of the aircraft. On this side, check the tires, engine, and the wing, and then we'll be done with the walk around. So this is it. We've done the walk around of the Boeing 777 prior to its flight to Hong Kong. We're going back into Kerry with our regular duties in the flight deck.
Delivery Air Canada 015 at 177. We have information Delta and a PDC 393 Papa.
Canada 015, all correct, and 2207 for push, good day.
2207 will be a noise 1 for Air Canada 015.
015, vertical profile 1, roger.
Okay, just planes. All our pre-flight checks are done. Doors are closed. Our ground crew is just advised it's time to go. 4 minutes to our scheduled departure time. Once again, Air Canada on-time performance is looking good. So sit back and enjoy the rest of the flight. Thank you. Okay, we just received our revised load. So what we do now here is we check. We got the right flight number 0015 of the 8th, Toronto to Hong Kong. That's cross-checked there. We got the right fin, 702. And here's our breakdown. J class 42 people, in the economy class 228. Operational flight plan number 1. And load number 3, and NOTAC at no nil, which is just for hazardous goods. So our total passenger breakdown, 245 people with 3 infants, and in the zones, 24, 109, 112. Fuel on board cross checks. Takeoff fuel is good. 0 fuel weight, 2029, so we're down a bit. Takeoff weight, 326,000 kilos, so that's 3,000 less than we planned, still within the limits for departure figures. Takeoff weight MEC is 26.8, and everything else checks. Down at the bottom here, nothing there, Ron? Nope. Flight deck, we have 4. End of part 2.2. Very good.
Air Canada 015, pushback 177.
Air Canada 015, good day. Push tail to the east and advise your crew you're going to exit Delta, Quebec.
Tail to the east, and we'll plan on Delta, Quebec, Air Canada 015.
Okay, flight deck ground okay for brake release?
Flight to release the brakes.
Okay, brakes off, ready for pushback, tail to the east, and we're departing Delta, Quebec.
All right, tail to the east, out of Delta, Quebec, and you are cleared to start 1 engine on the push.
Okay, check. We'll be starting the right engine on the push.
61 with Delta.
Test.
21-3 for clearance.
Sorry.
If I use the center intercom, does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to use that one then when I'm
Air
talking.
Canada 606, 21-9 for ground. Canada 606.
Okay, Ron, start the right engine, please. Start the right. Okay, I'm looking for the oil pressure, which we have, and the right fuel control switch is coming on. So now we monitor the engine instruments. 2 is coming up. And 1 is pulling. Fuel full.
Confirm brake set.
Brake set, confirm when pins are moved.
Bypass pins are removed.
Roger, check the pins, remove, written hand signals. Thanks for the push, have a great day.
Take care, safe flight.
Okay, we checked parameters on engine number 1, they're stable. Start the left, please. Left.
Good morning, apron, NovaJet 21 at Sky Service.
Again, starters
Ready to
on,
taxi,
looking for oil
Delta.
pressure.
NovaJet 21, good day, hold short of Echo Alpha.
Hold short Echo Alpha, NovaJet 21, thanks.
There's 1. Master's going up. We have a light on the left. There's a ground crew. Tug is away. We got the wave off. And they're off to the coffee shop.
Apron, Air Canada 015, taxi.
Air Canada 015, hold short of Delta Quebec and contact ground now 21-9, good day.
Short of Delta Quebec and 21-9, Air Canada 015.
So Delta Quebec's just off our left. There's an aircraft, looks like an RJ, pointing at us.
It's clear on the right.
And clear on the left, thank you. Taxi lights on.
Ground of Canada 015, heavy short of Delta Quebec.
Canada 015 Heavy, Toronto ground, runway 058 is Echo, altimeter 3009. I'm the RJ, taxi by Delta, cross runway 33 right, hold short of Echo.
Delta cross 33 right, short of Echo, Air Canada 015, behind RJ.
Okay, copy that.
Ground control inspection 26. 10606, monitor tower 118.35. 606.
Florida ground, Comair 3133, Alpha short Tango.
Comair 3133, ground short of Alpha Kilo there, continue up to Tango, 15 left, hold short Delta.
And it's clear on the right.
Okay, Alpha, say again.
And Comair 3133, continue along Alpha and then right turn Tango, and taxi onto runway 15 left, hold short Delta.
Alpha Tango 15 left, short of Delta, Comair 3133.
Is it the same thing? No.
Cross reference.
Roger.
For 99.9. $80, hold.
Roger.
Rotate. Positive rate.
Europe. Hell no. Thruster up, VNAV speed. Autopilot on.
And the 015 heavy departure.
Autopilot.
2.57.
2757, Air Canada 015.
Canada 015, left heading 010.
Left heading 010, Canada 015.
010, heading selected, looking for 3,600 feet through the noise abatement. Aircraft's accelerating. Looking for the flap speed, flaps 5, please.
Flaps 5.
We can see the aircraft's rolling out. Here's the heading button on 010. Looking for the flap speed. Once we're past that, I'll call flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Air Canada 015, climb out of level 230.
In Canada, we're restricted 250 knots, below 10,000 feet, and we'll see once we get to that speed, we can go. Because of the weight of the aircraft, we're allowed to fly a speed, plane speed of, oh, looks like about 254, 255, which is approved by Transport Canada.
Maintain 230, Canada 105. Air Canada 015, if you direct to Midland on course.
Direct to Midland on course, or Canada 015.
Okay, so I'm going to select Midland to the top, execute,
Confirm, execute.
and LNAV's available.
Up here, lateral nav is selected, which I say LNAV, it's confirmed. We expand our map, 80-mile range, and we can see Midland, Yankee Echo Echo.
Canada 015, contact Toronto 132.57, so on.
132.57, Air Canada 015 today. Toronto Air Canada 015, heavy, leaving 9,000 for 230, direct Midland.
Canada 015, flying flight level 270.
Okay, we're at a 10,000 for flight level 270. You can see now we're going to accelerate to our climb speed, 320 knots.
It's kind of tricky working both nights.
Air Canada 015, after Midland, clear direct Val-d'Or on course.
After Midland, direct Val-d'Or on course, Air Canada 015.
Air Canada 61, contact Toronto now, 124.37.
12437, and before we go, still it's actually smooth between 22 and right now for Canada 261.
All right, thank you.
On.
Air Canada 015, I've got 270 the final for you to start, is that correct?
That's the front of Air Canada 015.
Better.
Toronto, sorry, Air Canada 015, we'd like 290. That's final.
Okay, I checked that.
So what we have here is on the Boeing electronic flight bag, we have our chart clip. So for Toronto, we can preview down in the bottom portion here, you can see the different phases of flight. There's actually a pictorial that'll show what it is. So right here we have the the airport area. We have departure, we have information, we have arrival, and then we have approach, or we have all, which we can select. So normally what we do is that we'll pick the charts after reviewing them on which ones might apply for the departure that we're having. So you can see on this one, for Toronto for our departure, we can preview an airport, and I'll just, with the electronic flight bag, we can either have a day mode, which we're in, or a night mode for evening, which is the black background, the opposite. And here's a picture of the airport diagram in Toronto. So what on here, it displays the different frequencies that are used, from ATIS, a ground control, APRA control, tower, and departure frequencies. It also has runway lengths. I'm going to have to expand it so I can read it. It's also a touch screen, which we can scroll down. It has all sorts of information displayed here. So today's departure for Flight 015, we departed from Terminal 1, which is this building here. There's a Terminal 3 over here. There's a center terminal, which they don't use anymore. We departed from gate 177, which when I can expand, was basically in this quadrant. Stand by, I want to get back a page. So other pages that we can review, airport information, takeoff minimums, which are all listed here. We also have charts in our book which explain this. It's a lousy page. Apron procedures, parking, gates, 109B. We can have a review here. So as we expand in, we can see Terminal 1, the apron area. We started in a building, in a room over here for our flight planning, ended up walking along the terminal, through security, down the long corridor to gate 177. As you can see in a relationship to the airport. Positions. We also have parking positions, either commuter parking in the infield, coordinates if it's required for loading your GPS system up. We have low visibility taxi charts, which on today weren't required. We have the second page, we have de-icing, guidance, signboards, and a standard taxi route. So today the weather was quite good. So today's departure, if you can look at this map here, we departed gate 177. We pushed back. We departed Delta Quebec, which is that exit there. Taxi along Delta. We crossed runway 33 right, which what we discussed earlier is the longest runway, which we would have preferred for takeoff, but it was closed due to a NOTAM. Once we cleared the runway, we went across Delta. We came along Mike 3, and then air traffic control gave us a taxi down runway 33 left, which we then went to hotel, and we departed out of 05 towards the northeast. So I'm going to expand a little closer. You can take a look to see what it is. So this chart is used and has all the different taxiways orientations. It has preferred routes on it also. If I go to another chart, here's a standard taxi route chart for Route 6. And we didn't use this one today, but it would be guidance when you're going from an area following along. So you can see this route would take us from this area following the arrows. This is what you can anticipate for departure off 6 left. Jefferson has these charts, but air traffic control in Toronto doesn't use them very often. Okay, let's go back to the chart clip. So we can review departures. So in Toronto, there's 5 different SID, standard instrument departure charts. That was a test. And you can see in Toronto we have the Avro 5, the Douglas 3, the Luster 7, and you can see it's checked green because that's the one we departed and that's the one we use. The Pearson 9 and the Windy 1. So I'll select the Luster 7 departure. Sorry, we'll preview it. And there you can see the chart. So on this chart, which is used for almost all departures that we have, it's produced by Jeppesen. And in the top right corner, you see Toronto. It's called a SID chart. And what we review is expiry dates, effective dates, what the chart number is. It's cross-checked with the pilot not flying and the dates. So you can see in here, here's the ident for the airport. Here's your Toronto departure frequencies, 28.8, 2757. If they're doing a dual departure, they'll have 2 departure frequencies sometimes. Airport elevation, any other notes, which you can read here, that are required. Transition levels, transition altitudes, safe altitudes within 100 nautical miles of the airport, any cautionary notes, and then any other additional requirements, which here it says refer to noise abatement procedures for additional requirements. The name of the chart, the Leicester 7 departure, and in parentheses here, it has a short form, which would be in the database for when we're loading it in for cross-reference. In big bold letters here, this is a requirement for Transport Canada, the maximum speed of 250 knots for all aircraft below 10,000 feet. For noise abatement, there's another little chart here, turbojet or fan aircraft only, runway, all runways, and if it was just applicable to certain ones, it would have the numbers either 05 or 23 or 6 left. But for all runways in Toronto, noise abatement departure procedure either 1 or 2, and today we did 1. Down here you'll also see noise abatement aircraft assigned to turn at takeoff, commence to turn at 1100 feet. So we departed 05, which is right down here. And if you follow the runway, you can see the pictorial says 075 heading, then at or above 1000, it'll be left 047 heading off to a certain altitude or point. We scroll up. On all these pages, there's usually a communication procedure, a communication failure procedure. And what it says here, on recognition of a failure 20 minutes or less after takeoff and in IFR weather conditions, proceed as follows. And it'll have the instructions. Standard ICAO transponder mode 7600. And then if you were beyond Toronto, 10 DME, proceed directly on course. Or if not, do not climb above last assigned altitude for 5 minutes after recognition of failure, then climb to the flight plan altitude. So, the instructions for the pilots, depending on what runway. Today we departed 05. It'll have the instructions on your initial climb what to do. So the briefing I gave today was for runway 05, unless otherwise assigned by air traffic control, climb heading 057 degrees at 1,000 feet, turn left heading 047, or assigned heading for vectors to assigned route. The altitude, unless otherwise assigned by ATC, jet aircraft maintain 5,000 feet. There's also a note in the bottom for non-jet aircraft, something like a Dash 8 or propeller aircraft, maintain 3,000 feet. So we briefed that. Now we will go on to the noise abatement chart. That will be found under information, which was in the next block. You can see in Toronto there's 3 charts. One for NOTAMs, long term, the noise abatement, and then noise abatement continued. So reviewing the noise abatement chart, for the Jeppesen, basically it's in the same style, daylight standard. In Toronto it says nose operating restrictions and noise abatement procedures apply at Toronto Pearson International Airport to all IFR and VFR aircraft unless otherwise specified. It then displays the restrictions, the different types of aircraft, whether there's non-noise certified, ICAO Annex 16, which volumes, all other aircraft. So here are the restrictions for times, local, arrival and departures. All aircraft between 2000 and 8 in the morning, between midnight and 7, between midnight 30 and 0630, and midnight 30 and 0630. And then it has a whole list of other restrictions. At Air Canada, we have certain flights that are approved to land in the, what we can call here the noise abatement hours, the silent hours. And those are what we could refer to as red-eye flights, usually coming in from the west coast of California, Vancouver, or Alberta, heading to Edmonton, or sorry, heading to Toronto and landing earlier than 0630. We also have some flights from South America that come in that are allowed to land around 5:45 in the morning. So requests can be made to the senior manager in Toronto of the airport facility for the GTAA. Dun dun dun. So page 3 of the program, expanding it, talks about preferential runways for ATC during the silent hours, midnight to 0630, arrivals and departure, when engine run-ups can be done, training flights. So after all that information has been read and understood, we can get down to general procedures for noise abatement. And the first point, they talk about reverse thrust. And this is pretty standard in a lot of international airports that are close to neighborhoods. It'll say reverse thrust, consistent with safety of operations and in consideration of high intensity runway operations, pilots should minimize the use of reverse thrust. So as an SOP or standing operating procedure in Toronto, the recommendation is to use braking and idle reverse. And we try and plan that unless operationally required. So today we planned a NADP 1 departure, which we advised clearance delivery. We advised clearance delivery that we were doing NADP 1. So you can see on the chart here it says NADP 1 or 2 is required for all runways. See the other charts. Said routing should be followed to 3,600 feet for runways 33 left and 33 right. No unauthorized turns prior to Malton. SID cancellation does not terminate noise abatement procedures. Early turn on runway 05, which we use, applies only to the following jet aircraft types, and it lists. For arrivals in Toronto, the noise abatement procedures are consistent with safety. Crew shall minimize approach noise. To do this, it says, for all approaches, including visuals, maintain 3,000 feet above sea level or until intercepting the extended runway center line, and intercept the extended runway center line at or outside the final approach fix. Then remain on or above the glide slope or assume 3-degree glide slope. There we go. And then we just have some other departure times for that. So that's noise abatement. On the first chart, here are the long-term NOTAMs the Jeppesen will have. You'll see an effective date, an end date, and it says all GPS approach procedure titles change to GNSS, NOTAM 2. Runway 23, threshold display 685 feet, and threshold distance 10 feet. ILS runway 23, touchdown height 45 feet. So the short-term NOTAMs, which we found on the flight plan. Okay, the time we have now is 15:32 UTC time, which is exactly 90 minutes past what time we pushed. We pushed at 14:02, and we were airborne at 14:22. So an hour 10 minutes into the flight. You can see from the map here, here's approximately Toronto on Lake Ontario, and we presently headed almost straight north. And we're just into Quebec here. We're at about 51 degrees, coming up to about 75 degrees. And then our route from here, we're going to be entering the ETOPS airspace in approximately half an hour, 45 minutes. And heading towards Iqaluit, formerly called Frobisher Bay, up over Baffin Island, up towards Greenland, and up towards the North Pole, which is just over on the other side.
Sorry to interrupt. No problem. Which lake is this? Hudson. Or Baffin. Sorry. This is just a trick question to make sure we're not lost.
Okay, we're 3 hours into the flight plan, and we just have Frobisher Bay, Iqaluit, off our port wing, about 80 miles. And you can see the position on the map. There is the airport right there. And what Ron is doing is requesting our oceanic clearance by our flight information page, and you can see how it's displayed. Flight number ACA, Air Canada Airlines 015, and ATC facility, Bird. Entry point is Canal, which is on the flight plan. We've requested flight level 310. Here's our estimated time of arrival for that point, and we're requesting Mach 0.83. So Ron has sent that out, and at Air Canada SOP we have a book called the QRH Normal Procedures, quick reference handbook, normal. And one of the pages in there talks about oceanic or ETOPS procedures, and just a guide that we can use to make sure everything is covered. So you can see in here, pilot flying, we'll verify the clearance once it comes. We just received a message from them that said that clearance received, clearance on request, and if we don't hear from them in 15 minutes, we revert to voice procedures. So, pilot not flying, Ron, he's requested that clearance, and then we're going to check the clearance when we have it, and then we follow the rest of the points here. We're checking the weather, checking the ETOPS alternate or on the appropriate FMS pages. We'll do a HF assignment, which we should get, cell call checks, ensure the cleared Mach is in the FMS, and then CBD, LC, or ADS communication procedures as per the QRH later on in the flight. And then make sure the ETOPS systems are operational. If we get a reclearance, we have a guide here on what to do. And SLOP, which we use mostly over the Atlantic. And then procedures as we're doing waypoint passages and what we do. So I can talk about that now, is that once we're about 2 to 3 minutes from each waypoint, when we're in the ETOPS area, we'll confirm the FMS present position, we'll confirm the next waypoint, we cross-check the track and distance, and then we confirm the subsequent waypoint. Same thing over on the other side. Once we have the passage, we'll check altimeters, our altitude, our Mach that has been assigned, and confirm the method of FMS update. We'll record those points on the operational flight plan, and on the polar routes, usually in the wintertime, we'll check the temperature, make sure that's okay. Then after the waypoint, we confirm the next waypoint, and that the aircraft does take the track and distance on the ND. And then 10 to 15 minutes or 2 to 3 degrees after the waypoint, we do the plot position. So we're checking for G&Es, which stand for gross navigational errors. And even with today's technology, it does happen because it's all about inputs, little finger problems. So that's why we cross-check it manually. There's oceanic exit procedures, and once we clear on what we have to do then. So on the next page, we have what's called ETOPS entry requirements. And so this is a guide just basically to make sure that this checklist is used. Once we're airborne, determine if the flight may cross into that area. And if there's any obvious abnormal conditions, we refer to this. And here it says the following conditions are minimum for crossing into the ETOPS areas. And as an example, both main electrical power buses must be powered and by separate sources. All 3 hydraulic systems pressurized, operating normally. We have sufficient engine and wing anti-ice protections to deal with the existing or forecast conditions for the ETOPS and diversion portion of the flight. We have sufficient cockpit displays to fly safely in the area, communications, autopilot capabilities, and navigation capabilities. So basically, everything is in working condition. If not, there are requirements that we may not be able to enter the ETOPS, and there are other checklists to refer to that. So that's about it for now.
So we're approaching the market. This is Sunday we are taking off. So we need to work and code. And then taxi doesn't ask us to taxi something position. You can't live off that. I absolutely sure can. We're talking and selling it. We're moving the first of it. You know, there's probably someplace in the Yukon. But, there's so much in the world, but there's so much shit going on.
Okay, just an update on our progress. We've just passed Aqualowitz, and right now we can see on our position ref page, our FNC GPS is showing we're at almost 65 degrees north by 64.5 west. So on the map, you can see here 65 and 65. So we're just over this little island here. I'm not too sure what it's called. Coming into Baffin Bay, heading up towards Greenland. Weather right here looks very nice. Beautiful scenery off to our west at 31,000 feet.
Air Canada 015, contact Edmonton Center 11355.
35.5 Air Canada 015.
Turkish 17, contact Moya Center on 11904.
Berlin 7430, loud and clear. Thank you. Next contact at 90 west of Edmonton 13502.
90 west 3502, 7430.
Roger at 90 west.
Edmonton Lower Canada 015, heavy flight level 310.
Air Canada 015, heavy Edmonton Center, good day, loud and clear. Surveillance service is terminated. You can log into ADS Charlie Zulu Echo Golf.
Okay, we'll log in Air Canada 015. Okay, we checked VHF 12785 and we just received our clearance via data link from Iceland Air Canada 015.
Canada 015, thanks, and 12785 at Canal. Have a good day.
Okay, we just finished talking to Edmonton Center, and radar service is now terminated, and we have logged on to ADS. We just received our clearance from Reykjavik, that is Bird, and there is our oceanic clearance. Here's the time at 17:22 Z. Here's today's date. Clearance number, Air Canada 015 is cleared to Hong Kong via Canal, random route, and we're going to check this. So I'll read it, Ron can cross-check it. 69 north, 60 west, 75 north, 50 west, 80 north, 40 west, 83 north, 30 west, 85 north, 20 west, Abery, Bravo 934 Binta, from Canal, 1744, maintain flight level 310, Mach 83, and a message. So it's cross-checked, we're accepting it, and off it goes.
Okay, so we got our CPDLC link with Iceland, and we just switched to true heading because we left the southern control area. Now we're into Iceland's airspace, and switching to true in the northern latitudes because the magnetic variation changes so fast that headings become unreliable as you get closer to the magnetic North Pole. So now we're in true heading.
Air Canada 015 Iceland radio. Can you go ahead with your position report, please?
Okay, we are CPDLC and we were 69er north, 060 west at 1750, flight level 310, estimating 75 north, 050 west, 1836, next 080 north, or 80 north, 040 west.
Air Canada 015 Iceland radio 69er north, 60 west at 1750, flight level 310, 75 north, 50 west, 1836. Next 80 north 40 west and report 50, you can check in at 50 west on 8891 to see if your position report has turned up, and then you are CPDLC and your exit, confirm your exit point. What is your exit point from the Reykjavik control area?
Canada 015.
Okay, Berry overhead, Berry contact Murmansk on HF 8950, secondary 11390.
Berry Murmansk 8950, secondary 11390, Air Canada 015.
So that was Iceland that called, and you could see on the screen here is that this was an automated message to confirm CBDLC contact with Reykjavik Center. So I hit accepted, and that was it at 17:52. So we can't send message. We also had a cell call. They came up. Okay, request position report. You see that just came up, Ron? And we were talking to them on HF, and they were asking what our exit point was. So you can see on this line here where we're coming into the Russian FIR airspace right here at this point. You can't see it because of the thing called Eberi. And you can see there's the North Pole right here. So our routing position coming along that track. So we're just coming over, coming up to Greenland in a while. So we're in Baffin Bay. There's the odd iceberg, not too many this time of year out there.
Next fuel 57.0. We put 57 west on this frequency, backup HF is 8891, secondary 4. Okay, the 8891 primary 4675 at the moment, and Berry will be 8950 primary and 11390 secondary, Cathay 841. 469040 Standing by Cathay 841.
15 west, 16,
Speedbird 287, go ahead.
Speedbird 287, firm, check Menta 1816, flight level 350, estimating 71 north, 80 west at 1846, and 69 north, 90 west next, 70 minus 41, wind 348, diagonal east.
Speedbird 287, Roger, Mesa 1816, Mexico 350, 71 north, 080 west.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Peter and Francois. We've done a crew change. As you're well aware, the duration, our duty day for the flight is well over 16 hours. So we take 4-hour break, 4 hours on and 4 hours off. So it's our turn to fly the aircraft for 4 hours. So we've just arrived, and prior to passing 75 degrees north, our dispatch will send us any updates that are required, whether there be a change in some HF frequencies or space weather, and en route alternate information will be sent to us. So we just pulled it up, here we go. So it's the polar in-flight update. The fuel freeze information is not required, or the fuel freeze temperature, if known, is not applicable. So solar weather updates, none, or expected levels. Space weather is nil, and there's no HF issues, and there's no additional information to add. So we're just going to continue on. There'll be no, with our original flight plan. Now, we've just passed by 75 degrees north, and Iceland Radio wanted a call via HF just to confirm that they did get our CPDLC position report. So we're going to give them a call now. And not only that, we've passing 75 north, we've gone into a different zone. So we've got our Greenland escape route chart out. and we noticed that we're in zone 1, and Francois and I were just discussing this. If there was a rapid depressurization or an emergency, we would consult the chart, and zone 1 says to make a left-hand turn 270 degrees and head to Thule. And I believe right now our alternate for this portion of the flight is still Frobisher Bay. Okay, so I'll give them a call on the HF. Iceland Radio, good afternoon, Air Canada 015.
Air Canada 015, Iceland Radio. Yes, sir, we'd just like to confirm that you've got our CPDLC position report by 75 degrees north, over. Okay, you're barely readable, Iceland, but from Air Canada 015, we checked you didn't get our ADS position report. What I'll do is I'll give it to you right now. Are you ready to copy? Roger, roger. Air Canada 015 is by 75 north, 050 west at 1836. Flight and we're estimating 80 degrees north, 040 degrees west at 19er. Next is 83 north, 030 degrees west. Position fuel 82.5. Level 310, 80 north, 40 west, 1914, 83 north, 30 west is max, fuel 82.9. Come up on frequency 1127 minus. I take it, frequency 11279 now. Roger, roger, Air Canada 015, switching to 11279er. Iceland Radio, it's Air Canada 015. How do you read? Air Canada 015, Iceland Radio. Read you final read frequency, how do you read me? Roger, roger, read you 4x5. Okay, here is okay. And cell call check's okay for Air Canada 015, and we just want to confirm you did not get our ADS position report. I did not receive your ADS report. Okay, roger, we'll call you at 80 degrees north, Air Canada 015.
Now we're going to discuss escape routes, and this is on certain routes where the terrain is higher than other areas, where the terrain is higher than the altitude at which we can fly safely without being pressurized. We need escape routes to get out of these terrain of high altitude and get into terrain which we can fly lower at altitude where the cabin doesn't have to be pressurized. So for the matter of this flight, we're flying over Greenland, and we're going through this area over here. So the lowest altitude we can fly in this area is 13,000 feet through zone 1. So we'll refer, and the escape route is shown on the upper right of the map there. So what happens if we have a rapid depressurization and we have to go down? If we follow the procedure, while we're in that zone, we'll descend to 13,000 feet, and then we'll head west to get out of this zone, and then we'll go to our alternate airport, which in this case is Iqaluit, which is on Baffin Island down here. So we would get out of the zone and then go to our alternate airport or any other suitable airport that would be available at that time.
We just sent our position report to Iceland Radio via the CPDLC, and since we've been having a little bit of communication problem with him, we're going to call just to confirm that we got it on HF, and if need be, we'll give it to him again on HF. So I'm just going to give him a minute. Okay.
just received the clearance from Iceland Radio to climb to and maintain flight level 330, so that's what we're going to do right now. We'll set the altitude to 330 and then reset our cruising altitude to 330 and the aircraft will climb there. Once we're there, we'll send another message to Iceland Radio to confirm that we're level at that cleared altitude.
And what we'll do is we can send it via CPDLC. We'll arm it. Now it's armed and it'll automatically send a message to Iceland when we're level at 330.
Speed VNAV back.
Roger. It's at minus 60, it's minus 65 for 90 minutes.
Most northerly fjord of Greenland. We can see the north shore of the fjord through the clouds down there. And if we refer to the map, it would be that fjord right over here, where the waypoint Turno is depicted.
So one more time with feeling, you're approaching 83 or 30.
Yeah, okay.
Iceland Radio, it's Air Canada 015 position. Air Canada 015.
Air Canada 015, Iceland Radio. And 70 knots, 50 west, report latest, 80 knots, report did not come through.
Okay, just confirm you did not get our position report at 80 degrees north.
Did not receive the report.
Okay, Roger, here it is. We were 80 degrees north, 040 degrees west at 1914. And flight level 330, and position fuel is 77.9. And position 83 north is 030 degrees west at 1938. Flight level 330, and we are estimating 85 north is 020 west 1954. Next, a Barry, fuel 74.6, over.
80 north 40 west 1914, level 330, 83 north 30 west 1938, 85 north 60 west 1934. Say again, estimate the time for 20 west.
Roger, we're estimating 85 north 020 west at time 1954.
1954, a Barry is next. That's the most on base frequency.
Roger, roger, we'll call you on this frequency at 85 degrees north, Air Canada 015.
We're just about to give our position report. Now, this will be the last position report we give with Iceland Radio. Our next position report will be at Barry, and we'll be talking to Murmansk, and this is where we'll be entering Russian airspace. And our altitude will change. We'll be switching from feet to meters. And we have a chart here for conversion. And we also have meters depicted above our altitude in feet. So we'll go ahead here.
Iceland Radio, it's Air Canada 015. Iceland Radio, Air Canada 015. Roger, Air Canada 015 is by 85 north 020 west at 1954, flight level 330, estimating a Barry, time 2021. Ravul is next, fuel is 72.5, over.
Delta the 015 west 385 west 195, over America, the Burma from primary 895,
Okay, can you say the frequencies again for Air Canada 015 from Murmansk? Go ahead.
015 primary for Burma is 8950, secondary is 11390.
Okay, Air Canada 015, we check a primary 8950 and secondary 11390, over.
Air Canada 015, Iceland Radio, that's it, sir.
Roger, roger, thank you very much, have a nice day.
Iceland Radio.
Okay, now there's a Barry, which is our next waypoint, which, as I mentioned, we'll be entering Russian airspace. And we've built a waypoint in our fixed page which depicts the location of the North Pole. And if we review our polar operations in our FOM, it talks about overflying the North Pole, that flight crews must exercise caution when flying directly over the North Pole due to the possibility of aggressive autopilot maneuvers when the heading changes from north to south. Now, we're not flying directly over the North Pole, so the heading change will be actually very gradual as we approach Barry and continue further to the south.
We're now 150 nautical miles south of the North Pole on the Atlantic side of the pole, and as you can see up here, so much of nothing. What we're lucky enough though to see down to the ground, or the ice, however we may call it, and we can see how it can be fragmented up here, and just a little bit through the cloud layers. It's usually pretty covered up
here, but today we were lucky enough to be able to see down there.
And I believe it's all open, a little bit of open water in between the ice flows.
Murmansk Control, go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Air Canada 015 is by Abiri at 2021, flight level 330. Estimating Ravul 2055. Modem is next. And our position fuel 68.9er. And Air Canada 015 is requesting 10,100 meters.
015 Murmansk, climb and maintain flight level 0,100 meters. Next position report, motor.
Roger, Air Canada 015 is clear to climb and maintain 10,100 meters. Next report, MOTOM. And for the cell call from Air Canada 015, Delta Kilo Golf.
Air Canada 015, cell call check, Delta Kilo Golf Mike. Negative full call and try again. Delta, Kilo, Golf, Mike.
And from Air Canada 015, it's Delta Kilo, Golf, Mike, over.
Air Canada 015, Delta, Kilo, Golf, Mike, and try again, circle check.
Negative Selcon, Delta Kilo, it's Kilo, not Lima, Kilo, over Delta Kilo, Golf, Mike.
Air Canada 015, affirmative, Delta, Kilo, Golf, Mike.
Negative cell call for Canada 015.
Canada 015, Roger, negative cell call, next report position Ravul, and try check cell call later.
Okay, check. Well, next reporting point at Ravul, and we'll try the cell call a little later. Thank you.
So we're down there to 10,100 meters. So we'll check on the map. Russia 10-1. That's 331. 331 is set, and now we'll climb to 331, which is 10,100 meters.
不行，我把这高度推出来。
Control Air Canada 015 is by Uniform Hotel, 11,100 meters. Control Air Canada 015.
Ulaanbaatar Swiss 8949, position Bullock, maintaining flight level 10,600 meters.
Swiss 8949, contact Motor Control 128.0.
128.0, Motor Control.
Control Air Canada 015 is by Uniform Hotel, 11,100 meters.
Air Canada 015, contact Motor Control 126.5.
Shad Control 126.5, Air Canada 015, so long.
Ulan.
Shad Control, good morning, Air Canada 015, 11,100 meters.
Air Canada 015, report estimates, modem and Polto.
Roger, Air Canada 015, estimating modem time 0141, Polo 0154, over.
Air Canada 015, means flight to 11,100 meters, report modem.
We'll report modem, Air Canada 015.
Right here. Right here.
Well, good morning, everybody. We're just traveling through Mongolia right now. We crossed the border from Russia at the waypoint Sirna, and we went by Ulaanbaatar, and now we are heading towards a waypoint called Polho, which is the border of China and Mongolia, and we'll be talking to Beijing airspace. We'll be in Beijing airspace. We'll be talking to Beijing Control.
Okay, so now we've been in the air for just over 11 hours, and we have burned just over 92 tons of fuel so far, and we have 31 tons and a half left in our tanks for the remainder of the flight to Hong Kong.
Because of all the crashes, the Toronto one and the big ones in the Atlantic. Big one in the Atlantic.
Air Canada 015, means flight to 11,100 meters, report Polto.
Roger, Air Canada 015, we'll call you Polo. So we're just crossed into China, so we're about to check in with Beijing Control. Beijing Control, hello, it's Air Canada 015, maintaining 11,100 meters.
Air Canada 015, radio, squawk 0042.
Roger, 0042, Air Canada 015.
Offset 3 mile right of track, Romeo side, 3 mile Romeo side, Asiana 58. departure outside the 10 miles, right of track.
Offset 10 mile, 10 mile, right over track, China 588.
Additional facility, climb and turn 1,300 meters.
Climb 1,300 meters, China 588.
Contact November Golf Bravo 8862, climb and turn 10,600 meters. November Golf Bravo 8862, Beijing.
November Golf Bravo 8862, compared Beijing.
November Golf Bravo 8862, climb and turn 10,600 meters.
Okay, climb and maintain,
Beijing, hello, Air Canada 015, 1,300 meters.
Air Canada 015, Beijing, climb and turn 1,600 meters.
Roger, Air Canada 015, clear to climb and maintain 1,600 meters.
Air Canada 015, Canada Beijing 124.55, good day.
Roger that, Air Canada 015, switching 124.55, so long.
Bye.
Affirmative, 11,900 meters.
国航4112上到112栋保持。
上112栋，国航4112。
Beijing, hello, it's Air Canada 015, 1,600 meters.
Air Canada 015, full maintain 1,600 meters.
Roger, clear to maintain 1,600 meters, Air Canada 015.
Okay, so as we're flying along, we've got our flight plan, and we're approaching a waypoint, and for flight planning purposes, we take our time over the waypoint, our estimated time and our real time, and we compare it to see if we're remaining on schedule or not. Do you have anything like to add to that, Francois? Okay, and then we take a look at the winds, the forecast winds, and the actual winds, and we take a look at our wind component from that, and we would like to see that the forecasts are fairly accurate. And then we record our fuel, our actual fuel on board compared to the estimate on board, and we usually have a little bit extra, and that's always good. Okay, so our last waypoint, as we went by Tango Zulu Hotel, actually we were 2 minutes late. We arrived at 28 minutes after the hour, and our estimate was 26. And the wind was pretty much as forecasted. It's within 10 knots and 10 degrees. It was fairly good. And our fuel on board, we had 26.1, and the minimum for en route for the flight was 22. So we were up 4.1 tons on our fuel.
My name is Francois Champagne. I learned to fly in a Quebec college, that's Chicoutimi College, and I ended my flying courses in '92, and I started as a bush pilot flying float planes for 2 summers. Between these 2 summers, I took my IFR licenses and twin engine ratings, and I started to fly for a small company on the St. Lawrence North Shore. So there I flew the Navajo and then Jetstream 31 before being hired with Air Inuit, where I flew the Twin Otter and the 748. After that, I flew for Transat for 2 years on the Boeing 757 before being hired with Air Canada, where I flew the RJ, then the Airbus 330 and 340 as a relief pilot. Then I flew the Embraer as a captain for 2 years, the Boeing 767 as a first officer for 2 years, and now it's been 2 years I'm a relief pilot on the Boeing 777. Okay, for traffic separation in China, they often clear us to track a couple miles off our route. So right now we've been cleared to track 3 miles right of our track, so that's what we're doing right now. We're just leaving our flight plan route to go track 3 miles to the right. Yeah, it's called an offset. And fortunately, we have an easy way to do this through our flight computer here. We just have to go on the on our route page up here and just enter the number of miles we want to offset to the right or to the left. In this case, right 3 miles, and then the autopilot takes us exactly there. Control Delaware Canada 015, level at 11,600 meters.
Air Canada 015, confirm position oblique.
Air Canada 015, we're tracking at 3 miles right of course, abeam oblique at this time.
Air Canada 015, control radar contact. Air Canada 015, offset 5 miles right of track.
Offset 5 mile right of track, Air Canada 015.
Guangzhou, g'day, it's Air Canada 015. We are 1,600 meters.
Air Canada 015, good afternoon, control radar contact.
And what type of speed would you like for Air Canada 015? We're doing Mach decimal 8.5. Our normal speed is Mach decimal 8.3.
Air Canada 015, roger, unclip high speed.
Okay, roger that. High speed, Air Canada 015. Okay, so I'll just start with the pre-descent planning here, Ron, and just keep checking that guy. I'm going to check our landing flap. They've got flap 30, 136, that looks good. Departure arrival. Planning ILS 7 left with the Sierra 5 Charlie selected. So going into the charts for Hong Kong, just checking their work that they put in, Sierra 5 Charlie. Just give you a briefing here, Ron, 10-2 uniform, 8th of July, 11. Transition level 110 with 979 hectopascals or below. Transition altitude 9,000 feet. If required, request radar assist to follow correct track. Sierra 5 Charlie for runway 7 left. Speed max 250, below 10,000 unless otherwise assigned. So from Sierra, it's go Borda, Roca, Canto, Murray at flight level 130, Silva, Limes. Silva, Limes, that's all in there. Descent requirement, cross Murray at flight level 130. Holding is established over Canto. In the event of a holding, each flight will be instructed individually. Do not descend without ATC clearance. Under turbulent conditions, when approved by ATC, 280 knots or Mach 0.80, whichever is less. So the Sierra 5 Charlie, as I just said, to Borda, turn left to Roca, then to Canto, then via Murray to Silva, then left to Limes. Expect ILS approach, descend as directed by ATC. So if they shorten it up, that's not a problem. Okay, then we'll transition vectors over to the ILS runway. 7 left. So let me cycle the view here. ILS runway 7 left. Stand by. Chart date 8th of April 11. Localizer 111-1 and final approach course 073 1290 at the 4DME fix. Decision altitude 222 feet set on the radio altimeter. Monitor announce approaching minimums and minimums. I'll call landing or go around flap 20. Missed approach, climb to 5,000 feet. On the ILS, climb straight ahead to 300 feet. Turn left onto 058 degrees and intercept the 36 degree radial of SMT Delingai, then turn right onto the 76 degree radial of LKC. When crossing the 333 degree radial of TD, proceed on 110 degree heading to Sampu and expect radar vectors. Max 230 knots, do not turn before 0.2 of IZSL. MSA over the CHVOR within Hong Kong, 4,300 feet in the northern quadrant. Transition level, as we discussed, 110 at 9.
Monitor announce approaching minimums.
Thank you. We go down here and minimum is 200 feet and 1,200 meters. So here's the Hong Kong map of the airport. We're going to be landing on 7 lefts. Probably clearing around a taxiway down here, coming around to this spot, parking somewhere in the south wing of the passenger terminal.
Air Canada 015, Falcon Hong Kong 127.55, good day.
12755, Air Canada 015, good day.
Dragon 651, descend to flight level 130.
Descend flight 130, Dragon 651.
Air Canada 015, we're leaving 210 for 190.
Air Canada 015 for sequencing, reduce speed to 250 knots.
Speed 250 knots, Air Canada 015.
Saudi 962, contact approach 119, there's no one today.
11901, shut down 962.
Air Canada 015, descend to flight level 130.
Send flight level 130, Air Canada 015.
Dragon 651, reach flight level 130 by Murray.
130 set. 130 by Murray. Flight level change speed.
5 Charlie arrival, information Delta.
Sure, 5 Charlie arrival at the Delta, Cafe 640.
Air Canada 015, reduce speed to 230 knots, turn left heading 180.
Speed 230. Speed 230 knots, left heading 180, Air Canada 015.
230 knots selected and left to 180.
Air Canada 015, turn left, direct to Murray.
Left direct Murray, Air Canada 015.
Delaying action, continue present heading followed by. Present heading, Cafe 640.
Roger, Canada 015, level 130.
Air Canada 015, roger. Expect runway 07 left.
Canada 015 and 07 left.
Boeing 795, any chance for a direct to CQG weather? Air Canada 015, descend to 9,000 feet. QNH now 1009, new 8 is coming up.
9,000 feet, 1009, Air Canada 015. 9,000 set, thrust, flight level change speed. Roger, 9,000.
Air Canada 015, continue present heading.
Present heading, Air Canada 015.
Very nice, 635, turn
Heading
right,
select.
heading 50. Right 350 degrees, Brunei 635. On upon 9009, turn left heading 230. Air Canada 015, speed 230 knots, descend to 8,000 feet.
We are 230 knots, 8,000 feet, Air Canada 015.
Yes.
10 for 8,000 feet, which is set.
Roger. Is set.
Read, set.
Altimeter is 1009 hectopascals, 3 times. In-range check was complete.
Thank you.
Air Canada 015, turn left heading 350.
Left heading 350, Air Canada 015.
Cathay 725, climbing altitude 7,000.
Cathay 725, roger.
9 for 8,000.
On upon 175, heading 250, track adjustment.
Left down heading 250 on upon 175.
Canada 015, continue left turn heading 280.
Left turn heading 280, Air Canada 015.
Approach Cathay 543, flight number 110, information echo. Cathay 543, maintain, expect runway 07 left. Expect runway 07 left, maintain 110, Cathay 543. Cathay 725, climb to 9,000 feet.
Climb altitude 9,000 feet, Cathay 725.
Speed hold.
Air Canada 015, descend to 4,000 feet.
Send to 4,000 feet, Air Canada 015.
On upon 175.
4,000 feet set, thrust, flight level change of speed.
1195 on upon 175, good day.
Air Canada 015, contact director 1195.
1195, Air Canada 015, good day.
Cathay.
Director Air Canada 015.
On upon 909, turn right heading 040 to intercept the localizer, clear for ILS approach runway 07 left.
040, clear for ILS 07 left, on upon 09.
Air Canada 015, turn right heading 330.
Right heading 330, Air Canada 015.
9635, you're 4 miles behind medium, reduce speed now to 140 knots.
140 knots,
Extend it right out, that's fixed.
On upon 175, reduce speed to 160 knots.
Just 160 on upon 175.
9635, do you have preceding traffic inside?
That's correct.
A-firm, Brunei 635.
9635, Roger, confirm you're happy to continue approach.
A-firm, Brunei 635.
Roger, continue approach runway 07 left.
Continue approach, Brunei 635. Over 909, establish localized 07 left.
Brunei 635, reduce to your minimum approach speed.
Reducing now, Brunei 635.
On upon 175, turn left heading 320. Air Canada 015, heading 340, reduce speed to 180 knots.
Heading 340, speed 180, Air Canada 015.
On upon 175, descend to 1,500 feet.
Flaps 1.
Send 1,500, horn upon 175.
On upon 909, what is
5
your minimum
4,000.
approach speed?
What about 909, minimum speed 137.
On upon 909, Roger, reduce to your minimum approach speed.
Due to the minimum approach speed on 909.
On upon 175, turn right heading 040 to intercept the localizer, clear for ILS approach runway 07 left.
Heading right down 040, clear the ILS approach runway 07 left on upon 175.
On upon 909, you're 4 miles behind the 777, contact tower, no formally decimal 2. Air Canada 015 with your speed to 160 knots, descend to 2,000 feet.
160 knots, 2,000 feet, Air Canada 015.
160 on the speed, 2,000 feet set. Flaps 15.
Air Canada 015, request a support wind.
095 at 22, Air Canada 015.
Air Canada 015, Roger, speed 160 knots, turn right in 040 to intercept the localizer. Clear for ILS approach runway 07 left.
160 knots, 040, intercept the localizer, clear the ILS 07 left, Air Canada 015.
040 set, localize slow per arm.
Cathay 642 with your speed to 180 knots.
British 180 knots, Cathay 642.
On the 175, maintain speed 160 knots until 40 ME. Contact town off on 118 decimal 2.
160 knots till 40 ME, 182 on the 175 there.
Bye. Cathay 642, descend to 2,000 feet.
Send altitude 2,000, Cathay 642.
Air Canada 015, contact town off on Lake decimal 2.
18.2, Air Canada 015.
Glide slope. 5,000 set for the mist.
Tower Canada 015, ILS 07 left.
Air Canada 015, down north, continue approach.
Canada 015.
Continuing. Flaps 20. Gear down, landing checklist. Land 3.
Cabin's alerted. Flaps to go.
Flaps 25.
Order 175, take Alpha 7.
Roger, then turn left on Alpha.
Left down on Alpha.
Flaps 30.
Alpha 7, order 175.
Flaps 30, VRF 136.
Air Canada 015, wind 100 degrees, 15 knots, 07 left, clear to land.
Clear land 07 left, Air Canada 015.
VRF 136, target 141. He's clear of the runway.
Landing checklist complete.
Thank you. Autopilot's coming
Ground
out.
north, 116, order 175.
Flight director.
500. Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Runway in sight.
Landing.
Landing. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
10 off today, Cathay 642, 5 miles ILS runway 07 left.
Speed works up.
Cathay 642, down north, afternoon, continue approach.
Continue, Cathay 642.
Manual brake.
Air Canada 015, Alpha 7, then Victor, hold short hotel.
Alpha 7 and Victor short of hotel, Air Canada 015.
Victor, short hotel.
Cathay
right turn here.
642, winds 0 degrees, 15 knots, 7 left, clear to land.
Flaps 30.
Approaching minimums.
Roger.
Minimums.
Landing.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Over there. Alright, thank you. Says 777.
Once we came in over Macau, basically we were on radar vectors due to a volume of traffic. Weather was absolutely beautiful here for Hong Kong, some thunderstorms down in the south. So vectors coming in, this is usually what we could expect for arrival delays. It wasn't too much. Landing 7 left, a little hazy. Temperature's very warm here today, 34 degrees. So it's now about 1:30 in the morning for us. Toronto time. We checked in at about 7:30, I guess, and we're going to pack up. Off we go to the hotel and get some rest and get ready for 016 on the return. Just planes. Talk to you soon. How's it?
Il y a